What's up everybody? Today we're going to be tying the rubber monkey milk jig. For this jig, we're going to start off with a 1/16 ounce pill jig head with a size 2 hook. I powder painted that with ProTec white, and then I put a 4mm silver eye on it. For the thread, we're going to be using a white 6/0 uni thread. We're just going to start that thread behind the head and take it down a little past the point of the hook since there's a long shank on this hook. For the tail, we're going to be using this hairline two-tone rabbit zonker or rabbit strip, blue and white. To prepare that rabbit strip, I've cut off about 1 inch of the hide. I cut about the first 1/3 of fur off of that just so that the hide will be thin, so that we won't have too bulky of a body, while leaving a perfect amount of fur for the tail. So I'm just going to take that rabbit strip, set it right on top of the hook, hide side down, and then we're going to tie it so that the tail will be about the length of the hook. We want to tie that down with our thread tight enough so that the hide doesn't spin around. We want it to sit right on top of the hook. So just give it a few tight wraps of thread, then you can let go of the hide and tie it up the rest of the way. Once you've got it tied in, make sure everything is straight. And if you're happy with that, you can tighten it the rest of the way as you tie the thread back down to the tail. Then we're going to bring the thread back up once again and double check for straightness. If you're happy with that, you can build up the bulk to match where the hide has been tied in. Just use your thread to apply a bunch of thread wraps. Or if you have any cutoffs of chenille, you can also use that to build up the bulk if you don't want to use as much thread. Either way, just tie it so that it matches where the hide is, so you have a nice non-tapered body. For the body on this, we're going to be using a couple chenilles. The first one is this hairline cactus chenille in medium Minnow blue color. And the other chenille we're going to use is this hairline squishenille. This is UV white badger color. So on that cactus chenille, we're just going to strip off a few of the fibers with our fingers, just pull them out off of the end, so that we have enough of the stem to tie up to the head. Once you've pulled off enough of those fibers, you can tie that down. Just set the tag end in on the head and tie it down to the tail. Then we're going to do the same thing with the squishenille. Just pull out the fibers on the end so that you have enough of the stem to tie up to the head. And once you've got that how you want it, go ahead and tie it in. And bring the thread back up to the head. Now we're going to take our chenille, separate any of the tail fibers from it so it doesn't get trapped in there. Take your time doing this. And once those are clear of the tail, you can start twisting those chenilles together. We're just creating a nice core of chenille that looks like a brand new chenille. It should look like that squishenille with blue in the middle. And once you've got that looking how you want it, you can start wrapping it. Just be very careful with the first wrap. We want to keep it nice and straight right over the tail. Make any adjustments you need to. Then we want to pull that chenille back on the previous turn as we do the new turn, and do that all the way up the body. This will just make sure we don't trap any of those squishenille rubber fibers. Just continue your wraps, keeping them pressed up against the last as we get up to the head. And once you get it there, you can tie it down, give it a few really tight wraps of thread. Since this is a thick chenille, we want to make sure it's extra tight. And once it's tied down tight, you can clip that off as close as you can. Then we're going to pull out any of the stray fibers. And now we're going to whip finish. Just give it a 5 or 6 turn whip finish, keep it nice and tight. Pull the thread tight and clip it off. So that is the completed jig. You can see this is a really interesting take on the monkey milk. It gives us those monkey milk colors, but also the rubber fibers in that squishenille just give it something extremely unique that I'm sure the fish have never seen before. And that rabbit strip tail gives this thing an action that's just out of this world. It's a better action than marabou or any other material that I know of. So go ahead, try this one out. It is definitely a killer. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell to make sure you're notified of all future uploads. We'll see you next time. Tight lines.